This week on Spoke TV, find out about a coffee shop that offers a co-working space, local artisan work and food in downtown Kitchener. Plus, we take a look at a Portuguese language radio show that gets thousands of weekly viewers, and the Titans showed gratitude to the police and other first responders.
They're a great basketball team and a great basketball club, but they're so community oriented and they really align with our values.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spoke TV, Conestoga College's weekly news show. I'm Krishna Postolevsky.
And I'm Varsha Sriganesh. Who's ready for a new Highway 7? There are only 3 days left for a major bridge to close on Victoria Street.
On January 29th, Victoria Street Bridge, which connects Kitchener and Guelph, will be closed for demolishment so they can replace the bridge. This replacement will make way for a new Highway 7 to Guelph. The cost is estimated to be just under $19 million. There will be 2 detours after the closure, one for the residents and other for traffic. As a result of the construction, Edna and Bruce Street will be closed. Bus route number 204 that usually passes through the bridge will now be rerouted. All businesses in the area will run as usual. The bridge will be closed till the end of November 2018.
Fresh Ground is not just serving up in-house fresh ground coffee. It is a new business looking to bring community together. Spoke TV's Cassetta Black has more.
The Working Center opened a new building last summer. Fresh Ground on King Street in Kitchener provides co-work space, a community market, and a specialty coffee bar.
So on Saturdays we have is Community Market Day at Fresh Ground. It is a community market set up to support locally produced goods. The co-working desks that are available, for 1 to 5 days a week for individuals, and it's intended to support entrepreneurs in the community that are looking for space to work out of and work alongside other individuals that are also self-employed or working on other projects.
The proceeds from this coffee bar goes directly to funding the programs in this building.
All the food from Fresh Ground is plant-based whole foods.
So I'm a vegan, which means I have a plant-based diet, so I don't eat any meat or any animal products at all.
So we're focused on trying food that is better for the environment and also better for our bodies. This is one of the things we're trying to do here, is make food that is good for us but also tastes really good.
With the grant that the Working Center received from the Kindred Credit Union, people can apply to get some free desk space in the co-working underground at the Fresh Ground building. For Spoke TV, I'm Cassetta Black.
Thanks, Cassetta. Coming up, we take a look at a Conestoga radio show that has more than 60,000 weekly listeners.
It has been a higher stress year for students. Nadia Elawad has a look at mental health services on campus.
As the second semester rolls in, Conestoga College students are coming down from higher-leveled stress seen in the previous semester. About midway through their fall classes, the college underwent a faculty strike, leaving most people unaware of what was to come for the remainder of the term. The college has since seen a 10% increase in counseling appointments and have partnered with the Canadian Mental Health Association in a pilot project that offers additional mental health services for students, including walk-in counseling. Erin Downs, Student Success Service Counselor, says that this was a proactive approach to reach out to students feeling like they needed someone to speak to.
It was a stressful time with a lot of uncertainty for students, and so I think that's partially why we saw the increase.
Downs says that counselors also made adjustments to their schedules and extended their hours so that they could be more available to those seeking help. Other services offered at the school are workshops, academic counseling, career counseling, as well as a mindfulness group. Joel Collins, civil engineering technology student, says although the condensed amount of time in the semester made it stressful, he's always found the services at Conestoga a great benefit tailored for people on campus.
I should say it's a lot less frightening to get into counseling while you're at the school, solely because the counselors, the people here, are designed and are picked solely to help the students, rather than going to a counselor outside who may not be able to understand some of the struggles that we're going through.
At this time, no decision has been made on whether or not they will be extending the pilot for this term. If you or someone you know is experiencing stress or anxiety, you can access services by calling or visiting at their office. For Spoke TV, I'm Nadia Elawad.
Conestoga College's campus radio station, CJIQ, has become popular worldwide as the Brazilian show hosted by a student is hitting massive viewing audience. Tushar Sethi has more.
Conestoga College television broadcast student Bruno Cortes Sibela has been doing the Brazilian show on CJIQ. The show is a success story for him and his wife, who is also the co-host of the show.
It's amazing. It's a little bit crazy as well, but it's the way to enjoy our culture and remember our family and stay together with our people.
Sibela says that his wife inspired him to do the show, and his show is watched worldwide every week.
We have listeners globally. We have people listen to us in the United States, Mexico, Chile, Brazil, Canada, and even Japan. All these people and my wife inspire me to be here every Saturday night.
The radio director called Sibela and gave him the opportunity to do the show in Portuguese. While the show is on, Sibela also goes on Facebook Live and talks to the viewer through comment section. He balances both going on air and going live in a unique manner. The show airs every Saturday from 8 to 9 in the evening on CJIQ. The Brazilian show on CJIQ has hit unbeatable popularity in Kitchener-Waterloo region. The last week, their Facebook feed was watched by 62,000 people, and this week, more than 80,000 people watched their Facebook live feed. For Spoke TV, I am Tushar Sethi.
Pollution is high, but what is the region doing about it? We'll fill you in after the break. The region has big plans to lower their overall emissions. They would like to see rates drop by 80% of the 2010 levels by 2050. Emissions have been estimated to have dropped 5.2% between 2010 and 2015. Setting the target now gives the city time to build a plan catered to hitting this goal. The city will be looking to connect through community engagement, planning, and outreach. Municipalities, including Waterloo Region, have set themselves short-term goals as well. The region hopes to connect with stakeholders and get their input on the plan. These connecting events will take place into the summer.
Toronto is in the running to be the point for the next Amazon headquarters. Marty Young speaks with local entrepreneurs and business owners about the topic.
Talent that has caught the eye of Amazon. Waterloo Region is a key component in a bid that has Toronto shortlisted from over 200 cities vying to be the location of the online retailer's newest headquarters. And tonight, at an elite networking event put on by Startup Tech Unleashed, some of the region's top talent shared their thoughts. William Zoe was a keynote speaker at the event and was named Forbes 30 Under 30 in 2015 for his company, Chalk.com.
Amazon coming to the Toronto-Waterloo corridor overall I think is going to benefit the Canadian economy, of course as long as the deal makes sense for everybody. For the tech sector I think it's going to instill a bit more competition, but competition is never a bad thing.
Daniel Urede spoke candidly about his reservations.
I would want it to stay in the U.S., Waterloo region, to work a little bit more on their inside politics. I know that for the job creation and everything, the U.S. might need it more, and here in Tech Waterloo, some things can be done in a much better way before a player like Amazon moves here.
So regardless how people feel about Amazon, that's really all they can do for right now, with the retail giant expecting to make its final decision later this year. For Spoke TV in Kitchener, I'm Marty Young.
Thanks, Marty. Next up, we bring you to a Titans game that brought the community together for a good cause. We also have a discussion about the Super Bowl. All that and more coming up.
The Chicago Blackhawks found yet another way to lose as they continue to occupy the NHL's Central Division cellar. William Nylander scored on a penalty shot just 6 seconds into overtime as the Maple Leafs presented the Hawks with their fourth straight loss, 3-2. That marks just the second win for the Toronto in 7 games. Toronto's Raptors center Jonas Valanciunas provided 16 points and 13 rebounds, while teammate Fred VanVleet added 19 points off the bench in a 108-93 triumph for the Dinos in Atlanta. And Baseball Hall of Fame, class of 2018, was announced January 24th. Inductees including former Padre Trevor Hoffman, slugging first base Jim Thome, switch hitter Chipper Jones, and former Montreal Expo Valdemir Gurre. In local sport, the Saginaw Spirit fly into the auditorium tomorrow for a match up with the Kitchener Rangers. Kitchener is coming off a 3-2 win on Tuesday against London, while Saginaw lost on Sunday to North Bay. And now with a look at the big game, here's Kristen.
Thanks, Varsha. The Super Bowl is coming up on February 4th. I'm joined by Spoke Insiders Connor Morgan and Mike Stromey to take a look at what we can expect from the big game. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about
Excellent.
you? I'm glad to hear it. So, what are some of the keys for Philadelphia to beat the Pats in the Super Bowl, Connor?
Well, first of all, Philadelphia needs a really hot start. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in their era, New England hasn't scored points in the first quarter, so that's a big factor. Philadelphia needs to come out and get points on the board. They need to put a lot of pressure on Tom Brady, and that starts with Pro Bowler Fletcher Cox. He's a force, and he needs to get there and make Tom Brady very uncomfortable in the pocket. Otherwise, Tom will have time to sit and pick apart Philadelphia's secondary, which is a young core group of guys.
All right, so on the other end of the field, how will New England's offense fare against the dominant Eagles defense for Mike?
Well, Connor, I know it's going to be a tough task for this Patriots offense against this very ferocious Eagles defensive line, which ranks #1 in adjusted sack rate in the NFL, and that's a statistic from Pro Football Outsiders that basically accounts of how well the defensive line does without any outside factors, play from the secondary, et cetera, et cetera. The way you beat the New England Patriots is you got to put Tom Brady on his back. In his 3 losses this season, he's been sacked 8 times. That accounts for 22% of all of the sacks that he's taken this year. If you look at what Kansas City did in Week 1, they were able to get a lot of pressure. The Carolina Panthers got a lot of pressure. Even the Miami Dolphins in Week 13 put in a lot of pressure. So you really need to put him on his back. The way you mitigate that from a Patriots standpoint is you need to get the ball out quick. You need to get a lot of 3-step drops. You need to throw it out to guys like Danny Amendola. Utilize the running backs in the passing game. Guys like Dion Lewis and James White will be major factors in this game. And of course, you need to get Rob Gronkowski involved. He did suffer concussion in the AFC Championship game. Word from NFL Network today is that he's been cleared to play. So he's just a huge force out there. He's got a size and a speed advantage over most linebackers and safeties, and you really need to utilize that weapon.
All right, so Nick Foles has had an incredible playoff run and sudden career renaissance. If the Eagles win, what happens to Nick Foles, Connor?
Well, Carson Wentz is the future. That's pretty obvious. Nothing has changed, and if Foles does happen to win, it'll create quite the stir at quarterback position for Philadelphia. Foles is currently signed to a 5-year contract. However, if he's still with the team in February of 2019, his contract is voided, making him a free agent. So if he wins this Super Bowl, he could be a very big trade asset to the Eagles. But yeah, otherwise, he'll most likely be backing up Wentz next season.
All right, so now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of it. We'll start with Mike. What do you think score predictions?
You know what, you know what, Christian? I think it's going to be a close game. I really do. I mean, the Eagles have a great roster from front to back. They have a lot of great team chemistry. A lot of people around the team suggest that this is the most cohesive unit that they've had in a while. But again, on the other side, you have the New England Patriots who have been there, done that. They're never out of games. We saw in last year's Super Bowl, they were able to come back from a 25-point deficit. I have the Eagles taking this one 32-28. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to come down to the 4th quarter, and I think it'll be a classic.
All right, so on the other side, what do you think, Connor?
Very similar to Mike, actually. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. These offenses are very high-powered. So I'm going to go with a final score of 31-27 Philadelphia. Wow. So for all yous out there, don't be scared to take the over on the points.
We're reading each other's mail, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, and now that was our Super Bowl wrap-up. Be sure to catch the big game coming on Sunday. And that's all for now. Now back to the desk with Varsha.
Thanks, Kristen. The Kitchener-Waterloo Titans had a game against the Cape Breton Highlanders on January 25th, but basketball wasn't the only thing that was celebrated that day. Matthew DeWitt-Johnson has more.
Many professional sports teams make a point to try and connect with their communities, and the KW Titans continued that trend on Wednesday with their First Responders Appreciation Game against the Cape Breton Highlanders. Carrie Heath, managing partner for Isabel Avery Co., as well as a representative for the Titans, explained why the evening was put together.
Well, first off, we owe a huge thank you to the first responders in our community for all that they do for us. So it was our way to give back. our way to appreciate them by highlighting them, focusing on them, and acknowledging what they do.
Police Chief Brian Larkin was a guest of honor at the game and said that he's very grateful for the appreciation that the Titans showed to the police and other first responders.
We're really grateful of our Kitchener-Waterloo Titans. Not only are they a great basketball team and a great basketball club, but they're so community-oriented and they really align with our values, which is making a difference in our community and supporting young people and supporting everyone. And so what a great opportunity for them to say thank you to us, and we're here to cheer them on.
In addition to giving thanks to the first responders of Kitchener-Waterloo, $2.50 from every ticket sale for the game was given to the Children's Safety Village, a charity aimed at teaching students and kids about how to stay safe in the community. Unfortunately for Titans fans, the Highlanders managed a decisive 135-117 win over the home team, but it was still a great evening overall. So, as you can see, the night was a fantastic success in regards to showing the appropriate level of appreciation to our first responders, even if the game didn't go quite as well as Titans fans may have wanted. For Spoke TV, I'm Matthew DeVette Johnston.
Have you ever been to a basketball game, Barsha?
Actually, I have not.
Well, luckily for you, Conestoga will be hosting a large varsity event on Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. Our men's and women's volleyball and basketball teams are playing 2 doubleheaders in the rec center against conference rivals. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Krishna Poslovsky.
And I'm Varsha Sriganesh. For more news and information, check us out on spoketv.ca or follow us on Twitter.